Hello everyone, friends, boxers, we're glad to see you again. Today we have a very interesting defense technique, stepping back, slipping back, and blocking. This is probably one of the most highly sophisticated and advanced training systems that was ever used by elite boxers from the former Soviet Union, and not only Soviet ones. In fact, it remains incredibly effective and is still widely utilized by athletes even today. So, we'll try our best to show you all of these intricate nuances and the technical subtleties involved in correctly executing this specific defense. So please, watch closely and enjoy the demonstration. Look, guys, you have 3 ranges. The first range is the long range. At long range, you box. Just so you understand clearly, at long range, you can see your opponent well. You assess him, anticipate his actions. At long range, you can feint and deceive. This is a very difficult range. And according to Soviet standards, the long range was considered the master's range, because it's very hard to trick your opponent and land a punch at long range. The middle range is a brawl. No matter what anyone says, it's impossible to box at middle range, because both the striking and defensive distances are already very short. At close range, you are grappling. It's a struggle for advantageous hand positioning to land a punch. There are very tricky moments at close range. That's why both long and close ranges are considered master's ranges. And now look, there are 3 types of defense. Defense with your legs, defense with your hands, and defense with your body. Of all these 3 types of defense, the defense with the body is considered the master's skill, because everyone more or less uses their legs and hands for defense. But positioning your body is extremely difficult, because all these nuances depend on your striking characteristics, your particular set of strikes, and your movements. All of you move differently. That's why. So, there is a certain classification of defenses, but there is one defense that includes all 3 elements. This is one of the first defenses. It involves stepping back, leaning back, and blocking. It looks like this. It's simple. Just pull back. You move away, lean back, and block. It's a very interesting defense. And right away, I have this question. I had it even when I was a little kid. Why do you have 3 types of defense against a single straight punch? Who knows? Why is it like that? For one movement, you make 3 movements. Step back, lean back, and also block. You immediately start aiming. Absolutely right. Because this defense was designed as a universal defense, an absolute defense that includes all 3 sets of defenses. You don't know how you'll be hit or how many punches will come at you. That's why you use a step back, for example, against a straight punch, a lean back against a hook, and a block, for example, against an uppercut. This is, well, just as theoretical knowledge. It all starts with a single action. So now you'll have a task. The first thing you need to do, your first defense, is simply to step back. Step back. It is important to remember to slowly step back and carefully slide back in order to maintain a safe and effective distance from your opponent. So guys, remember to always step back. The first movement, here too there's a moment of synchronization so that you move in sync with your opponent. Look, the first thing you pay attention to is what distance I can cover with my step. See, you're lagging behind. Please maintain a safe distance. You need to sharpen both your left and your right. 1, 1, 1. Now let's move on to the jump. And 1. Right after me, right away. The farther you jump back, the worse it is for you. Then you'll have to jump back again. Yes, that's why you need to keep your distance very strictly. So, to understand this defense, just observe closely. It's not so much about the strike right now, but about understanding how much you need to shift your step. It all starts with the step. And gradually, you start turning your step into a kind of pushing movement. You push off and you can immediately move forward. Or you push off and then push off again. The second point, the block. Look, I'm going to hit you now, respond to me right away. One more time. That's the block. Now don't respond, just take the block on yourself. Good job. The block. Turn your palm. Just don't tense up. That's it, your hands are in a striking position. Relax, relax. Now the other one. The other one. The other one. Once more. With the movement, you can even throw your body forward. That's it, good job. Now look, at the moment when you do the block, you push your body movement forward. Now you need to do the block as if you're stepping back, but without actually taking a step. In other words, you stretch your body out a little. Why is this thing necessary? This little pullback with your body. On one hand, yes, you make the boxer overextend. That is, he stretches out completely in a line. The second point, and this is a very, very important point, this is the moment for your counterpunch. Bam, bam, on this very basis, with this defense, stepping back, leaning back, and blocking, you throw your very first counterpunch. It looks like this. One more time. 1, 2. So you understand why this defense is used, what it's for. It only works against a single punch. Against a jab. Because if a 1-2 comes, you'll get stuck. So now when you set up the block, move your body just a little bit back. Just a little bit. This is not yet a pullback or a slip. It's just to stretch out a little bit. To stretch your opponent out a bit. 1, the second hand. 2. 1, the second hand. 2. 1, 2, 1, 2. In real-world combat situations, let's say in the intense reality of a physical fight, you will suddenly find yourself in a position where you have to block incoming strikes using both your first lead hand and your second trailing hand simultaneously. So now focus your attention specifically on catching and stopping this punch. Is your task clear? Make the block, letting your opponent overextend a little. Right now you don't need to take any steps. Just react, just pay attention, because this is already significantly closer to the mid-range. Because hand defense is far more effectively suited for mid-range combat. At long range, it is certainly possible to utilize it, but when the exchange actually begins to unfold, you must perform all your movements with precise parries and blocks, and with slips as well. There is no other way. So guys, did you understand the assignment? Let's go. Here, you need to learn to use both your right and left hand. Only parry with your right hand. No, that's definitely not a parry. Keep working. Now with your left. See, I'm intercepting. Well, one of the tasks is to stop it. Stop the punch so you can counter it. That's the goal. So if you pull back, you'll lose your distance. So stop it and immediately strike back. Well, that's more for an actual fight. Right now, it's not a fight, it's training. Don't knock it to the side yet, that's a different technique. Continue to alternate by using your left and right hand. Consistently. Don't let your palm collapse, you need to hold it firmly. Good, now Lesha. Good. Now a little faster, Lesha, come on. Lively or Seri? The third element, probably the most enjoyable element, because here you already need what you learned from the first and second. What you took from the step is the distance, aligning your distance. And the second is what you took from the block. It's often very difficult to make this little pullback, to arch your back, and to arch your back correctly. So here you really need to understand that your arms are like powerful springs. Your legs are also springs. In fact, you are all just like a collection of springs, and your entire body should function like a flexible spring. So it is very important to keep your hips perfectly steady throughout the movement. In this position, as soon as you've played it back, just moved back, you've played it. Here it is, as they say, your working distance. Valer, stretch out your arm, stretch it. Can you reach? Excellent. And you pull back. 1. 1. The other hand. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. Right here you can already, well, sort of keep one hand ready just in case anything happens, so that it's not quite as scary for you as it might otherwise be. You don't need to take any steps here, but you do need to spring back properly. You can do it quickly, even faster if you want. You see, it's the striking system, It's fast. Valera was not exactly striking with a great deal of speed. He was taking it quite easy on his opponent. So this part even has a distinctly sharp and somewhat jerky rhythmic character to it. That is to say, you need to perform a quick jerk first, and only after that will you find yourself moving forward into the full attack. Return. And just in case you ever need it, you should definitely keep this specific point in mind. Because if you just move back, if you just pull away, it's pointless. You'll get caught by the second strike. That's why before executing the counter strike, you need to work out this part very, very precisely. Very, very quickly. So for now, start very slowly, so that this part in your lower back really springs back into place. All of this should be as if it's set in concrete. 1, 1, 1. You can maneuver a little to the left, a little to the right, a little towards yourself. You have 3 options. Don't hammer, don't hammer. It won't work that way. Only single strikes for now. Look, here it's definite. Just like with the step, you had synchronization, right? You noticed the movement and made the movement. It's the same here. Bring it to my head. Here it is, part of it, synchronously, synchronously. Trot, trot, trot. Look, the movement is actually short, but you make it longer. Closer to your opponent, closer. Closer to your opponent. And now the finale. Defense. With a step back. With a backward lean. And with a block. Start from the beginning. Once again, guys, I'm telling you, start slowly. This is how you develop speed. Does everyone know how to hit the speed bag? Does everyone know how to hit the speed bag? Yes, I do. Actually, it is actually quite a cool process. You start practicing by hitting the speed bag at a very slow and steady pace. And then you can go much faster, gradually over time, as you notice that your skill improves and your overall speed increases. The same principles apply here. At the very beginning, you should do it quite slowly and very calmly, carefully adjusting your distance as you go. Well, how do you find all of this? You need to calculate it down to the millimeter so you don't step back too far. And so you don't bend your body too much and you position your hand correctly. This is very, very important. This fine-tuning starts with slow, calm movements so that through your vision and your brain, you can precisely gauge the distance so that you know these things. There's no point, Valor, go ahead. There's no point in moving that far away. Because, well, how are you going to strike if you move so far away? That's why you control things with these distances. That's why the versatility of this defense is simply unique. I don't know of any other defenses that have been designed to be this universally applicable. And this defense, if you start developing it correctly, all your other defenses will start to work as well. I'll say it again. 3 distances, 3 types of defense. Each distance has its own type of defense. For example, at close range, your body helps a lot when you turn and when you position your hands correctly. At medium range, blocks and parries work very well for you. And at long range, it's all about maneuvering, bigger maneuvers, using circles, side steps, and everything else. Everything that involves footwork. All right, everyone, listen up. I want you to take things very slowly. Get yourself ready. Make sure to step back, slip back, and maintain your block. Now, move forward with a powerful straight punch. You're doing really well now. You're leveling out perfectly. See, your back bends just like this. You take a much shorter step while he takes a significantly longer one, and you'll still definitely get him. He still simply can't reach you at all. See, this part of the slip works for you. Keep your guard in front of you, where your chin is. Put it there so it protects your nose as well. But don't put it on your nose. Wait. Look. You set your guard like this, see? Just like that, so you have it, see? Because if you put it on your nose, you'll get hit in the hand and start bleeding. And the position of your hand. There are so many important things here. Stretch out, lean forward just a little, Arthur. You're throwing a long-range punch. That's it, lean it. Good, that's it. Now look, so you don't get things messy with this hand, alternate each time. One with this hand, one with that hand. Otherwise your hand ends up dead, but it should be active. Because again, bring it here. You can intercept here, you can counter here. Same here, you can intercept here, and you can counter here. You never know how it will go in a fight. That's why you practice this situation, and you practice that situation too. Everything matters here, distance and range. There are a lot of factors, and it's your head that decides all of it. So don't tuck it here or here, keep it in front of you. Because it's very difficult to start from somewhere back here. It's better to move from the shoulder, that way it'll be faster. Before contact, Lev, you're pulling back too far. How are you going to start from there? Once again, guys, listen closely. This specific defensive technique against a single incoming punch, which is broken down into 3 distinct elements, can actually work effectively against a series of 3 rapid-fire punches coming your way. Well, it can be straight punches, hooks, any kind. So this particular method of defensive maneuvering can effectively work against 1, 2, or even 3 consecutive punches. You're going to try this now, so there's no need to go all out yet. Just use 1 movement for 3 actions. And if, for example, you throw 3 punches in a single step, they'll just fall right into this defense, as they say. If you throw a punch with every step, 1, 2, 3, then this defense won't work. That's why this defense is often used when you're already backed up against the ropes, so that you have just 1 step left before you hit the ropes. After that, you move on to a different maneuver. It's a very versatile defense. Really, really cool. So now give it a try. Let's start with 2 punches. So you just jump back. What if a 1-2 comes at you, right? You never know what's going on in your opponent's head. So now use this defense against 2 punches. Ready? Let's try it, guys. First, second. First, second. First, second. This is where you really need agility. 1, 2. 1, 2. Why did I just drop my left hand? Do you know? So he could see where to punch. Because in reality, well, when you're in a fight, it's better not to drop your left hand. You can drop it, but it's better not to, because you'll be throwing punches with your left later. Valor, try to make him miss completely with the first punch by stepping back. And by leaning back so that he can't reach you at all with his first punch. See, he's reaching your hand. Pull your hand in close to yourself. Either way, you're already in a defensive position. Lower your left hand for now so it doesn't get in your way. That's good now. You make him miss with the first and parry the second. You make him miss with the first and parry the second. You pressed up against him hard, but that's not a bad thing. Take a look at how really well it works. We will definitely continue with different types of defense. So watch and follow us. We'll show you everything and explain it all. Wishing you kindness and love. See you next time.